Welcome to Iloilo Science and Technology University International Campus. I am Professor Neo, renowned English professor, and here are my students. First, we have Nonay from Iloilo, speaks Hiligaynon-influenced English. Next is Dudong from Cebu, speaks Cebuano-influenced English. And next, we have Prince Charles, a well-off college student who uses Conyo English, the grandson of Queen Elizabeth. We have here Dodoy, Nonoy's nanny, a nanny who uses Yaya English who influenced Nonoy. And next we have Chris, a call center agent who mixes Tagalog and English or Taglish in his daily conversation. And lastly, Kimpet, who speaks Hokaglish, mixing Hokkien, Tagalog, and English. Okay, settle down everyone. Good morning. Today we're going to explore something close to all of us Philippine Englishes. You may not realize it, but the way we speak English here in the Philippines is incredibly unique and diverse. Depending on where you're from or your social background, you might use English differently from your classmates. We'll dive into those differences today. And by the end of this class, I hope you'll see how special our Englishes are made and why they are important. Okay, let's get started. With you, Nonoy. In Iloilo, yeah, we speak English, but it's very different from what we hear in Manila. Like, we say things like, I will go there, gid, or I saw him already na, which adds a Hiligaynon flavor to it. We add little words like na or gid because it sounds more natural to us. Sometimes, we don't even realize we're doing it. Okay, interesting. So you're blending English with Hiligaynon, which is a great example of substrate-influenced English. Do you feel like this way of speaking English is unique to Iloilo? Ay, oo, we definitely get. When I speak like this outside of Iloilo, people notice. They say, you're from Iloilo, no? It's like they can tell right away from the way I talk. It's funny, gani, because even in English, your hometown comes through. Pariura sa Sogbo, when we speak English, we sometimes add words like by or lagi at the end of our sentences. It's just automatic, especially when we're with friends. Exactly. These are excellent examples of how our regional languages like Hiligaynon and Cebuano impact the way we speak in English. This is what makes Philippine English so fascinating. No two regions speak English the same way. Yes, and I've noticed, it's not just about the words we use, but also how we pronounce things. Sometimes when I'm speaking English from the people in Manila, they'll say, Bisaya ka? You sound like Manny Pacquiao, even though it's all English. You know, Absolutely, even in pronunciation can vary based on your local language. That's the beauty of Philippine Englishes. It's shaped by so many factors. Now let's move on to Conyo English. Can anyone explain that? Give it second na, prof. In our group, for real, we mix Tagalog and English all the time. And it's so natural sa amin. Like, we'll say, can you make tusik-tusik the fishbowl for me, kuya? And it's kinda like we're making the languages, you know? Exactly. Konyo English is a mix of English and Tagalog, often used by upper class. It's playful, but it also shows how different social groups use English differently. What do you think about the people's reaction to Konyo English? Like, for real, we can't make sisi dam because this is how we make usap with my friends And it's so natural to us to make palit-palit the languages. Reasonable. But I feel like Taglish is more accepted. I mean, we mix Tagalog and English in everyday conversation, so no one thinks it's weird. Like, I'll say, grabbing traffic, or can you pass me the papel? It's so normal for us to switch between languages, especially when we were talking with friends. For real, pero in Conyo English, we did a bit more sobra. Like, we'll dagdag English words in Tagalog sentences so that we make tunog a social. Okay po, pero I guess it's about how people perceive it pa rin, di ba? In Taglish kasi, everyone's comfortable because we're just switching naturally. At sa Conyo English naman, it's more about showing that you're a part of a certain social group. Social nga kasi you're a prince. Both of you make good points. Conyo English and Taglish are both hybrid forms of language, but they reflect different social contexts. In a way, they show how English is used as a marker of identity in the Philippines. Now let's hear about Yaya English. Kami prof, we speak English but not as good as them. Like we say, I no understand or can you help me? Because we learn English mostly from work only mo. It's not perfect but we get by. Sometimes when I talk to the kids, like Nonoy, I mix words like ano or hala. It's simple English pero it's enough ah. And that's exactly the point. Yaya English is a form of English used by nannies or house helpers. It might not be what we consider standard, but it serves its purpose in communication. It's a reflection of how social roles influence language use. What do you think about the idea that all these forms of English are equally valid? Prof, yes, even if it's not proper English, we can still talk and understand each other. I think that's what matters. Exactly. Every variety of English has its own function and serves the people who use it. That's the beauty of language. It adapts to fit needs of its speakers. Now let's talk about endonormative stabilization. What does this term mean? Diba prof, isn't that when a country starts making its own rules for English instead of just copying American or British English? Like we're developing our own standards here in the Philippines already, no? Yes, and the normative stabilization means that Philippine English is evolving with its own norms. Do you think we've reached the point here in the Philippines? I think we're getting there. I noticed that when we write emails or reports, we don't worry so much about something like Americans. Lagi, we write in a way that natural to us, even if the grammar is a bit different. We make tickle trying to sound formal and tama kasi all the auras. What matters is the message, di ba, prof? Wow, that's a good observation. Philippine English is becoming more independent, and that's a sign that we're moving towards differentiation, where our own standard starts to emerge. So what do you think the future holds for Philippine Englishes? Sa palagay ko, Philippine English will keep evolving and we'll keep mixing it with our local languages and it will be more even distinct. Siguro one day, there won't be just one way to speak English in the Philippines. Feel ko marami pa. We've talked about various Philippine Englishes already. Taglish, Conyo English, and Yaya English. Now let's discuss the Hokaglish. Who can explain this? Ni hao ma, everybody. Just kidding. Prof, Hokaglish is a mix of Hokkien, Tagalog, and English. You hear it a lot in Chinese communities like Binondo in our place. So for example, we might say, ano yo bibilhin? You want 50% off? Sheshe. So it's natural for us to switch between the three languages. I think it's time already. Thank you everyone for your thoughtful contribution today. I hope this discussion helped you see just how rich and diverse our languages are here in the Philippines. Whether it's Taglish, Conyo English, Yaya English, or Hokaglish, each variety reflects our unique identity and culture. Remember, there is no single right way to speak English. It's all about how we use it to connect with others. Great chat today, and I look forward to seeing how you apply this understanding in the future. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye,
Bye,
Bye
sir.
sir.